Hey folks, welcome back to the big board. We continue play of Goose Green, Multi-Man Publishing, the Tactical Combat Series system thingy. And what's going on? It's 8 a.m. In the early morns in the game, and we have, let me just check my chart here. We're about to start 8 a.m. Yep, we're about to start. I'm just looking at the my chart versus my game notes. Yes, so the Argentinians, we've done the artillery phase. We're in the action phase. Argentinians have done their little exercise in terms of moving and all that sort of good stuff, and we now have the British action phase for 2 para. And so it's an interesting situation because the Brits are a little bit ahead of the curve in terms of time. They managed to clear out this area fairly quickly. And that was a little bit of a surprise for me. It all went exceedingly well, and primarily because of some good rolls on one artillery shot that we took. And that softened up the defenders enough to allow us to sort of a close assault quickly and clear it out in one go versus multiple goes. So, with the game plan being, the only downside being that we had lost Colonel H, and that does a couple of things. It means we lose some of the benefits that he brings to the table for close assaults and morale checks and stuff like that. But it now does free us up to enable alternate options on our game plans, our op sheets for the British. And so we've got a situation now where Company B was to move through here and support the attack on the airfield a little bit later in the day. Company D was to approach through here and attack from here basically into the airfields. And then Company A was there to move on to, let me just move the camera a little bit. Move on to here, support the attack, and then close on Goose Green and attack into Goose Green. Now, there's a lot of open ground, right? And a minefield, no less, to cover. And we don't have a lot of smoke. We don't have a lot of arty for suppression. And we have a spread out set of defenders that are basically AA guns sitting there waiting to shoot. The good news is they can't pull together concentrated firepower in Overwatch, so that's okay. But on the Argentinian op plan, their reserves they released, and their plan was to move up to here and then conduct a flanking attack against the advance. But so they've basically done their preliminary move, and they're situated in place basically. These three, I think it's these 3 units here, or whatever the case may be, and we have one dug-in unit that was already there. That's an MG, right? And so this concerns me as the British, and I'm wondering if I can create another op sheet and divert Company D to support the attack to clear out these guys. If we clear out these guys, then we've got a much better run into here. But we don't have a lot of time, so I'm a little concerned. So there's a number of different things we could do. We could continue with the plan as is, and Company B could run this attack in this way. We could support it with some smoke to screen off the advance for Company D to come in here. Try and do both simultaneously. I could pause my attack with Company A, and it could put suppressing fires down on these guys, but I'm going to have to get closer to do that. I could bring my Company D chappies down here somewhere, and we could start plinking at these chaps here on the hill and suppress them, and then close with Company B. So lots of choices within the framework of the current op sheet. Because just because it says go and attack A doesn't mean that you can't along the way deal with mitigating circumstances, right? So there's those sorts of things to think about, and I've basically paused the game for the moment. I didn't play yesterday at all just because I'm looking at all this open ground going, man, that does not look like fun. And so, because when you're moving on open terrain, you are just setting yourself up for a bad time if you take shots, even if it's a 4 rated unit with an Overwatch, right? You know, really what these guys should have done is stacked up here when they moved in, but I kind of spread them out. And this chap is trying to retreat. He's off on the sort of reverse slope there, so he's covered for the moment. But these guys are looking for blood. We moved the mortars back here out of the way, and I've got these 3 guys here. Now, they don't have a long range, right? This range, I think, is 5 for these. Let's see. Yeah, range of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's kind of the distance there. And these guns here have a range of 10, which also happens to be that hex as well. So I guess Company D could advance through here and then just deal with the guns individually. Company B is going to have to deal with its own approach, and there's little streams that cost extra to get across. So I don't know, it's fun stuff to try and noodle through and work out. There really wasn't a whole lot of interesting gameplay here, so I didn't record anything in terms of the assaults and all the rest of it. I did one close assault example, and of course neglected to make a couple of allocations of rules. One, I at the last moment put a dug-in counter on top of the unit that was being assaulted, which would have changed the suppressing fire effort that I made. I should have left that off. And then the second thing that I did is these alternate charts that I have were missing or had removed due to, I guess, some modification by the folks that had originally put them together. Had removed one of the key little tables that you need, the number of steps in the close assault and stuff like that we're firing. So that was my mistake there. I'd forgotten about that because I've been using those rules for a little while. It's called the infantry firepower table, and I have been using those rules for a while just because I had them laminated and I didn't want to mess up the originals in the other games, and I had missed the fact that they had removed the infantry firepower table for some reason. Anyway, so today we're going to work through this and try and decide how to take all the different mechanics and rules that are available and the different types of firepower that we have in limited quantities and apply them to the situation that we have here. Now, one of the things we can do is also request air support. I got to roll it's either real high or real low to get that, and we'll see how that goes. If I get that's a game changer for us because it's going to be 3 Harrier jets coming in. These guys have got 3 of these here with a strength of 40. They're gonna change someone's day if they make the sortie in. So I'm excited to try and get that going. But very low chance of that happening just because of the weather situation out in the ocean and all that sort of good stuff. All right, all the best. Talk to you soon. I'll give you an update next, probably later on today if I can. Ciao.